Hey guys, it's River Thames, and in the beta there are 8 new reinforcements you can play as. These include 4 new ships: the LAAT Republic Gunship, Republic Y-Wings, Droid Tri-Fighters and Hyena class bombers. The other 4 are ground-based reinforcements: the B-2 Rocket Droid, Jump Troopers, the Flame Trooper and Wookiee Warriors. In this video, I'll be going over exactly what these special characters do, how much they cost, and if they're actually worth using. So firstly, the LAAT gunship. And before I go any further, yes, it is on rails, meaning you cannot control what direction you move. This vehicle is a reinforcement, so it only holds one person at a time. Although, it only costs 400 battle points, which is really cheap. As for the abilities, it has 3 to make use of. Firstly is just a simple health repair. You can regain health whenever you want when you've taken damage. Second is called Missile Guidance Disruptor. Basically, no missiles from soldiers on the ground can lock onto you while this is active. Finally, Heatsink. This basically is a cooling cell. You won't get any overheat while this is active, and you can fire your lasers for as long as you want. The LAAT is pretty hard to use and get a kill with. You have to be really accurate with the laser for a few seconds on your target to pretty much guarantee a kill. Personally, I would save the battle points instead of using it on this. But since they are only 400 battle points, they can be really easy to get, so it's always an option for you if you want to get it because it's so cheap. You can pretty much choose it whenever you want. The Y-Wing shares basically the same abilities to those in Starfighter Assault. There is an Astromech Repair for when your health is low, a Proton Torpedo, and an AI Ion Cannon, which fires at anything in its area, even things behind you. Now for my personal favourite, the Droid Tri-Fighter. I got some pretty nice gameplay with this, so it's really good gameplay to show it off. The first ability is a standard speed boost. Secondly, this increases your primary blaster damage for a short period of time. And finally, similarly to the LAAT, the Heatsink ability, where there is no overheat on your primary blasters. The Droid Tri-Fighter costs 800 battle points. Again, really cheap and definitely something I would recommend using. It's really fast and agile, has some really good abilities, and it just looks cool, to be honest. So the Hyena class bomber shares the same qualities as the bomber class. They have the Missile Guidance Disruptor, similar to the LAAT, so no missiles can lock onto them. Dual proton torpedoes can be fired, and the 3 missile lock ability. Not too sure how useful that will be in modes like Galactic Assault, but it's always an option if you want to use it. Maybe there will be 3 starfighters in the air and you can take all of them down. And the Hyena costs 1000 battle points, so the most expensive out of the starfighters, but it has some pretty powerful abilities, so I think it's worth it. So that's the 4 ship reinforcements. Let me know what you like the most. As for the ground-based, reinforcements are split into classes. So this was basically done so you can track progression and, you know, add star cards to each of these classes and help differentiate what the reinforcements actually stand for. So firstly, Jump Troopers have been given an aerial class. These includes the newly added B-2 Rocket Droid and slightly updated light side Jump Troopers. The B-2 Rocket Droid is awesome to say the least. Of course, you'll be able to fire your wrist rockets, but in mid-air. The Rocket Droid has 2 fuel movements. The standard jump pack, where you can pretty much go in any direction or upwards, but there is a new addition called the Jetpack Dash. This is a ground-based thrust movement where you can go in any direction and at a fast pace, but it restricts you to only travelling at ground level. This droid is so great to play as. Being able to fire wrist rockets while in the air is awesome, and it actually feels like an intimidating character on the battlefront. Other jump troopers such as the Resistance, Clones and First Order will have the same abilities, but instead of the wrist rocket, they are given a rocket launcher. And just a cool little tip for you all, the combat role for the aerial class is actually a third fuel movement, where DICE have personalized the combat role to fit that class. So it's basically a ground strafe in a direction you want to go as a replacement for the combat role animation. These jump troopers cost 2,000 battle points. Next up is the Enforcer class. This includes the Flame Trooper and the Wookiee Warrior. These are basically the bulky class. Both reinforcements come with a grenade. For the Flame Trooper, an incendiary imploder will burn enemies in an area of impact. You'll be pleased to know that this grenade doesn't actually affect the Flame Trooper himself, so he can walk straight through his own flames. Whereas the Wookiee uses the Thermal Imploder, a highly explosive grenade with the epic explosion and sound. Next, the Flame Trooper has a cooling cell for their flames. So you activate this, you can use a flamethrower for as long as you want. Whereas the Wookiee has an ability called Frenzy. This makes your blaster bolts rapid fire, and with the Wookiee, you don't just fire it as you did with Chewbacca in the first game. You have to charge up your bolts. The longer you hold down your trigger, the more bolts will charge and the more bolts you can fire. Finally, they both have an ability called Fortify. This temporarily boosts the Enforcer class health, making them even more bulky so they can pretty much become a really powerful asset in team play. So you can see that the Enforcer is the heavy firepower and bulkiest class, and because they are so good, they cost 3,000 battle points. I wouldn't say they are very easy to use. These classes do require skill. You can't just run out into the open with a Flame Trooper and expect to get a 20 kill streak. You have to know what you're doing and play very tactical. So there is 8 new reinforcements for you to test out during this beta. I hope you're excited to test them out because it was really great to play as them. Personally, the Droid Tri-Fighter and the B2 Rocket Droid are some of the best gameplay experiences I had. So let me know what you guys think of these new reinforcements. Let me know what your favorite is. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's been River, and I'll see you in the Battlefront beta.